Hi, hello, I hope you're doing fine. And today I'm going to talk about another flower. It's a flower with lots of varieties, and it doesn't only have its blossoms during springtime, but here in Belgium we have a variety. I don't know what's the name of it, but this variety in Belgium only grows during springtime. And I have explored the flower itself, the natural flower, and I'm also going to talk, of course, about my favorite perfumes based on jasmine. Jasmine, like you know, is the most widely used flower for perfumes, and originally it comes from India. The name jasmine is a Persian name and it means gift from nature, and of course we also know it as the name for girl. In Europe, Grasse in France is a center of the cultivation of jasmine. It's the most expensive variety of jasmine cultivated for perfumes, and it's called jasmin de Grasse. The only widely available perfume using it is the extrait de parfum of Chanel No. 5, which unfortunately is empty, but it's a must-have for perfume lovers. I don't really like Chanel No. 5, but I love the extrait de parfum, so it's you can find it in the mainstream perfumeries here in Belgium, so it's not so difficult to find. Why is jasmine so expensive? It's so expensive because the process of cultivating it is called enfleurage. It's very time-consuming and complicated. For example, the flowers have to be picked by hand, and the process has to start immediately because the flowers start to rot very quickly. I noticed this myself as well. So today jasmine notes in perfumes are mostly synthetic, but this doesn't mean they are less interesting. It's interesting to find out how the creators emphasize the different facets of this wonderful flower, different aromas with completely other notes. Jasmine, of course, is not only used in perfume, it's also used in tea, like the Chinese jasmine tea, for example, and the essential oil of it is used in aromatherapy. In lots of perfumes, jasmine, of course, is used, but I'm only going to talk about perfumes where it plays the major role, where it's the key ingredient. First, I will describe how I experienced the Belgian jasmine flowers. The first impression I get when I put my nose to the flower, close to it, is a sweet vanilla aroma. It's not really the cloying aroma or the sugary aroma from vanilla itself. It's much more subtle. It's very refined. It's an elegant sweetness, not sugary at all. So soon the creaminess, which we all know from white flowers, the typical white flower creaminess comes forward. And it's, to me, it reminds me of a high quality, hydrating face cream. And then I ask myself, why do we associate this creaminess with hydrating creams? Probably because it has been a tradition already for a long time to use the scent in hydrating creams. Then I ask myself, well, it reminds me a bit of Nivea cream we have here in Belgium. In Belgium, it's really iconic. We have it in almost every family, and especially now it's very efficient to keep the hands hydrated. And but I looked it up, and here in the Nivea cream we have apparently we have lilac and not jasmine. So lilac and hyacinth to me are very similar to jasmine, especially their creamy part, but compared to jasmine, hyacinth and lilac to me are much more brutal. They are much spicier, more peppery. Jasmine is really the most sophisticated, the most elegant one of the three, to my opinion. But maybe you don't agree, so I would like to know what your thoughts are about this flower. So the creaminess of jasmine makes it very opulent, also narcotic, a bit slightly erotic even, sensual. And it makes me want to take a bath in it, and sometimes I would like to eat it. So it's magnificent, I love it. From close, it reveals its indolic notes as well, so the same notes which I detected in the orange blossom. You can find the video also on this channel about the orange blossom. And so it's a scent of mothballs, but also it has the smell of bad breath. Victoria Frolova calls it horse breath. Yeah, it's really animalic, but I love it. The slightly dirty thing, the animalic aspect of jasmine, I need it sometimes. An animalic note, it doesn't bother me at all. Sometimes jasmine also has a citrusy aspect to me, a more refreshing aspect, which we don't find with hyacinth or lilac. So that's how I experienced the scent of the flower. So let's talk about it in the comments, how you experience it. Now we move to the perfumes. First, not to forget, if we have a guerlanade, we also have a chanelade. So the base of most of the Chanel perfumes is made of rose, jasmine and iris, and it also has a woody base. And to me, the 1932 from the exclusive line, I only have a sample of it because it's not really my cup of tea, but to me this is the essence of Chanel perfumes, of the Chanelade. So it's nice, it's classy, but yeah, it's a bit boring for my taste, but it's very nice. So let's move now to a perfume I like to wear a lot during springtime and summertime, and it's called Don't Tell Jasmine. It's made by Vilhelm Parfumerie. The creator is not mentioned on Fragrantica, but they work together a lot with Marc-Antonio Corticchiato from Parfum d'Empire and also Jérôme Épinette. To me, it's really bold. It's a bold jasmine. It's a solifloral to me, to my experience, and it's very straightforward. It's when I think about the title, Don't Tell Jasmine, I only think about, yeah, don't tell Jasmine that we picked all the flowers from her tree and that we made a nice concoction of it. So that's my impression of this perfume. So it's very long-lasting. It's really a bomb. The projection is very good, and the sillage as well. And here we have the energizing aspect of jasmine, which comes forward, and it's supported by Kir Royal, which is an original way to combine it. So this Kir, for me, enhances the refreshing aspect of it. So if you're looking for a simple, straightforward perfume based on jasmine, just jasmine, I think this will be one for you. You really have to try it. Don't Tell Jasmine. Next one is Reckless by Roja, which is much more complex, and it has a lot of notes in it, of course, and so it starts with a very sharp bergamot, which at the beginning I really didn't like it, but now I got used to it. So the top notes are bergamot, other citrusy notes are mentioned as well, aldehydes and tarragon. And in the heart we have amaryllis, jasmine, violet, which you can also really detect, geranium, ylang ylang, which plays the vanilla part, I think, in this perfume, rose and peach. And then at the base we have vetiver, musk, sandalwood, clove, cinnamon, tonka bean, orris root, castoreum and leather. So you can notice that it has also an old school vibe in it, but to me it really has a modern twist as well. So it's opulent, but it's at the same time it's energizing, and it's also slightly gourmand. So it's a very high quality perfume, of course, which we can expect from Roja Dove. It's masterfully blended to me, but it doesn't really have an evolution. The bergamot is going to disappear little by little, and the jasmine clearly plays the most important role in this perfume, but I never have noticed a dry down of it, so but it's really a wonderful perfume. So now move to Portrayal by Amouage. I only have the sample of it. It's launched last year, and it's created by Annick Menardo. It only has a few notes that they mention. So the top note is jasmine, only jasmine, and the heart is made of vanilla and tobacco. So here it's a play with the sweet part, the vanilla part, which you detect at the beginning when you experience the natural flower. And it also contains tobacco in the heart, and it's the pipe tobacco to me, so the sweet pipe tobacco kind, which matches perfectly with the vanilla. The base consists of elemi, and according to Fragrantica they also used a bit of tuberose in it to give it probably the more creamy undertone. I really love this perfume. It's extremely long lasting, and it should evoke the roaring 20s in London or the grooving 80s in New York. I haven't been there at that time, so I cannot really evaluate if they captured this era properly, but to me it feels very sophisticated and a little bit rebellious, and yeah, I really like it. It has a complex evolution as well, so I would recommend it too. But the most wonderful jasmine based to me, and the most close to nature as well, is À la Nuit by Serge Lutens. And I used to wear this perfume about 10 years ago, I think. Now it's almost finished. I don't want to use it any longer. I want to keep it. This perfume plays also on the vanilla aspect. It's paired with honey, so it gives a sensation with what I would call the vanilla element in it, and it's also paired with green notes to evoke the branches of the jasmine. It also contains benzoin, musks and clove, which give it the slightly animalic touch, the perfumey touch, because otherwise it would only be the imitation of the flower. So you always need a perfumey aspect as well, of course. And these animalic notes give it the mysterious vibe and give it also the touch that this perfume is more appropriate to wear at night. That's why it's called À la Nuit, of course, as well. So it's not really an office scent or a daytime perfume. And apparently they used a tiny amount of real jasmine absolute in this perfume. And it's a combination of Egyptian, Moroccan and Indian perfume. It's created in 2000 by Christopher Sheldrake, of course. It's really a masterpiece. Yeah, I really love it. Now it's available only in the bell jars, which I saw earlier today at the website of Serge Lutens. He changes a lot in his packaging and also in his prices, unfortunately. So I would like to know how you experience the jasmine flower nowadays, and what your favorite jasmine-based perfume is. Let's discuss about it. I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.